Detailed report on the 12-day Israel-Iran war, June 2025. The 12-day war between Israel and Iran, spanning from June 13th to June 24th, 2025, left deep scars on both nations, impacting human lives, infrastructure, and military capabilities. The conflict erupted when Israel launched preemptive strikes on Iran's military bases and key nuclear facilities, which Israel viewed as a direct threat to its security. Iran retaliated with waves of ballistic missiles and drones targeting Israeli territory. The United States joined the fray on the 9th day, deploying bunker-buster bombs to hit Iran's nuclear sites. This report dives into the details of the losses in human lives, infrastructure, and military assets, as well as the broader consequences based on credible sources. Human losses. Israel. According to Israel's Ministry of Health, 28 people lost their lives, and over 3,238 were injured due to Iran's missile and drone attacks. Of the injured, 23 suffered severe wounds, 111 had moderate injuries, 293 had minor injuries, and 138 experienced psychological trauma from extreme fear. Most of those killed were civilians. A notable incident occurred in Beersheba, where a missile strike claimed one life and injured 32 others. Missile attacks in central Israel, particularly in Ramat Gan and Rishon LeZion, caused numerous injuries and damaged residential buildings. Over 9,000 Israelis fled their homes due to the barrage of more than 1,000 missiles and drones. Iran. Reports from Iran's Ministry of Health and the human rights activists in Iran, Harana, indicate that at least 610 people were killed and over 4,700 injured in Iran due to Israeli and U.S. strikes. Among the deceased were many civilians, including over 70 women and children. Iran's military suffered significant losses, with several high-ranking commanders killed on the first day, including Mohammad Bagheri, Chief of Staff of the Iranian Armed Forces, and Hossein Salami, commander of the IRGC. Additionally, at least 15 Iranian nuclear scientists critical to Iran's nuclear program were killed. Infrastructure damage. Israel. Iran's missile and drone attacks damaged key infrastructure in Israel. 31 missiles penetrated Israel's air defense systems, striking critical sites such as a power station in the south, an oil refinery in Haifa, a university in central Israel, and Soroka Hospital in Beersheba. A drone hit a residential building in Beit Shean, causing significant damage but no injuries. Residential structures in Tel Aviv and Haifa were also affected. Iran. Iran faced severe infrastructure damage, particularly to its nuclear and military facilities. 3 key nuclear sites, Natanz, Isfahan, and Fordo, were targeted by Israel and the U.S., destroying centrifuge production plants and uranium storage facilities. However, U.S. assessments suggest that the Fordo facility was not completely destroyed, and Iran's nuclear program may only be delayed by a few months. Missile production sites in Kermanshah province and 6 air bases were also obliterated. The state television building in Tehran and residential structures in the Gisha district were hit as well. Military equipment losses. Iran. Iran launched over 550 ballistic missiles and 1,000 drones at Israel, but approximately 90% of the missiles and 99% of the drones were intercepted by Israeli and U.S. air defense systems. Iran lost around 1,000 ballistic missiles and 250 missile launch systems. Israeli military estimates suggest Iran has 1,000 to 1,500 ballistic missiles and about 100 launch systems remaining. Additionally, 15 Iranian fighter jets and helicopters, including F-14s, F-5s, and AH-1s, were destroyed. Israel. Israel deployed over 200 fighter jets and dropped more than 2,000 bombs on hundreds of targets. The Israeli military lost 2 drones in Iranian territory, but no reports confirm the downing of any Israeli fighter jets. Impact on Iran's nuclear program. Israel and the U.S. targeted Iran's nuclear facilities at Natanz, Isfahan, and Fordo. Israel claims these strikes set Iran's nuclear program back by years, citing the destruction of centrifuge plants and the deaths of key nuclear scientists. However, U.S. assessments indicate that the damage at Fordo was not total, and Iran retains some uranium stockpiles. While its ability to enrich uranium to weapons-grade levels is severely hampered, the program is not entirely eliminated. Financial costs. Israel spent approximately $10 billion over the 12 days, averaging $724 million per day. Of this, $593 million went to offensive operations and $132 million covered defense and troop mobilization. Israel's air defense systems, such as Arrow 3, cost between $10 million and $20 million daily. Iran's losses in infrastructure and weapons are estimated to be worth billions of dollars, though accurate figures are unavailable. Political situation and ceasefire. The war ended with a ceasefire on June 24th, mediated by U.S. President Donald Trump. However, the ceasefire remains fragile, with both sides accusing each other of violations. Iran fired 2 missiles into Israeli territory which were intercepted, and Israel responded by striking a radar station near Tehran. Geopolitical consequences. The war significantly weakened Iran's military and nuclear capabilities, while Israel demonstrated its robust military and intelligence prowess. However, attacks on civilian targets and infrastructure drew international condemnation. Iran vowed to continue its nuclear program and threatened to withdraw from the Non-Proliferation Treaty, NPT. Conclusion. The 12-day war caused immense loss of life and infrastructure, with Iran suffering heavier damage than Israel. While Israel and the U.S. claim to have disrupted Iran's nuclear program, Iran retains some capacity to produce weapons. The U.S. brokered ceasefire is shaky, and the Middle East remains a volatile region.